time for the February edition of the No Walk in the Park 5k race. Does appear to be going ahead today. There's lots of cars parked at the park here, whereas it was completely empty last time, so I think that's a good sign. I did check the Facebook page before I set off, so I'm pretty sure the race is going ahead. Just spoken to the guy who's parked behind me just to make sure I'd left him enough room, and he's racing as well, so I think we're all good to go. I'll go and pick up my number and get some warm-up done. Okay, I'm one of the earlier people doing warm-ups. It's only 8:30. I just want to make sure I have time to do enough warm-ups, because on the little tempo session I did a couple of nights ago, only 1.5 kilometers of warm-up. The first rep just felt way too hard. I usually need a few kilometers just to get into my stride, so a few laps of the park should see to that. I'll get the camera in place on my chest in a minute. I'll be stripping off the hoodie before I go. I think I'm going to keep the gloves though. It's about 4 Celsius according to my car. Feels colder. At least the ground isn't frozen today, so we go, go, go. This must be the kids' race. Baby kilometers. Then just set off in this 5k race. There's one smaller lap to begin with, where we just loop around the cricket pitch, and then we start with the outer laps of the entire park, and there's a total of 5 laps, roughly 1 kilometre each. So I think I started a little bit far back. I was unsure of what time to go for, and still umming and ahhing about what to do at the start, and kind of let myself get quite near the back of the crowd. And yeah, my plan was to try and start around a 4:30 per kilometre pace, and then just see whether I could build into it from there. I haven't done a fast 5k for quite a while now, and I did have that kind of break and gradual build up in my training after the injury at the end of October. So this 1st of February race, I was still feeling a bit unsure of where I was with my fitness, but here we go. We're just about halfway around the smaller lap, making our way, kind of corkscrewing out onto the outer part of this park, Queen's Park in Chesterfield. Somewhere up ahead of me is Dawn from Two Running Brooms, and even further ahead is John from Two Running Brooms. Had a bit of a chat and a run with them before, and yeah, it was good to meet up with them in person for the first time, have a bit of a chat about the race and YouTube and such things. And as you can see, I've got quite a crowd in front of me. There was some kind of spilled milk or milkshake on the path just around this section that you encountered every time you got here, so I think a lady tried to avoid it and almost bumped into me just there, which was my fault for getting too close to her and not realising that she'd have to avoid the milk. But here we go. Strange how races quickly turn into a situation where you've got someone doing the exact same speed as you, just up in front of you, and you're kind of stuck with that person for what seems like forever, and then suddenly, you know, one of you changes speed and things move on. So Apologies to anyone who gets caught on my camera for minutes and minutes at a time here. That just seems to be the way it goes. I'll speed through some sections of the race, as there's not always interesting stuff to report when you're not overtaking anyone and you're just kind of battling to keep where you are. Got some nice support every time I pass this Marshall point again. My friend Jim was there.
Hit, mate.
Also had a chance to talk to someone about joining North Derbyshire Running Club after the race. Dawn kindly introduced me and had a good chat. In fact, before the race, beg your pardon, he was getting ready to start the race, and he was chatting to me about all the ins and outs of the club, and yeah, just explain what goes on there, the wide range of abilities they have at this club, all the different running nights they have, and yeah, sounds really good. So he pointed me towards the website for actually signing up, which I will be doing shortly. This fence on the left is where the kilometre markers are. We're just passing the 1 kilometre there. And this is where it starts to go uphill. Gets a little bit steeper as we get around this corner here. Peaks just next to the kind of the swings and the play park at the top of the hill, and then thankfully there's a corresponding downhill section. Always some good encouragement from the marshals as you're running past. And we're just about to crest the hill here. You can see Dawn in the white top there in the distance. I don't think I ever got any closer than this over the course of the race. She was having a good run. This downhill section is a relief, but you're kind of knackered from the uphill at this point, so you can't really just flow easily down here. You're trying to get your breath back at the same time. You can see the start-finish line there on the inner part of the park, next to the cricket pitch. So as you can see, not much movement in my position in the race at this point. I can still see the same guy in the long-sleeved North Derbyshire Running Club top there. And I'm not really making any progress at this point. I was hoping my legs would kind of start to feel a bit more loose and mobile as the race went on, which does happen up to a point, but then the lungs start to be another sticking point as we get further along. Here I'm just trying to stick as close as I can to the chap who's kind of accidentally pacing me at this point. Should see the 2 kilometre marker just around the corner on the fence here. There we go. And now we start the climb up the hill again. Everybody doing the race, I'm sure, will make a note of and remember this section. Still not making much progress. I was hoping I'd have enough on the hills to get a little bit closer, but yeah, nothing happening so far. Can this be the lap where I finally overtake somebody? There I am getting lapped by the eventual race winner. I think I overheard someone say he was going for the course record today. It was some kind of occasion at the running club. I think it was the annual awards for something that goes off, and yeah, I think he was trying to mark the occasion with a fast one by the looks of it. Obviously did really well. During the earlier laps, if any marshals or anyone gave me any encouragement, then I would respond verbally, but after a while it got to the point where putting my thumbs up was the most I could manage. So I at least did that to respond to them. Look at that, somebody else to chase, finally. Should see the 3 kilometre marker on the fence shortly. There we are, 3 kilometres. Some of the people I pass during the race will be people getting lapped who are a bit further back. It's a bit hard to judge who's who as you're going round, but I think I've overtaken a couple of people now, so signs of progress. Back on the hill, I think I can just make out Dawn's white top again there. So clearly I've dropped back a little bit rather than making progress. It's at this point in the race when you've done more than half of it and you're climbing a hill, your legs don't seem to want to give you any more. You're thinking, is it really worth it? Can I keep going? Shall I just lie down on the grass and have a rest? A chap called James recognised me before the race and came to have a chat about running and mentioned my YouTube channel. So it was nice to meet you, James. Best of luck with your training for Newport Marathon. It's usually about this point on the lap where I'm checking my watch to see whether I need to do another lap or not, because I got mixed up in the first time I did this race and kind of turned off to the left towards the finish line when I still had a lap to go. Schoolboy error. So it looks like there's a lady in a luminous yellow top there who I may or may not be able to catch on this final lap. And I think anyone else I'm about to pass is people who are on a lap before me. And there's the 4 kilometre mark. So that gives you a boost knowing you've just got 1 lap to go. I just wish my legs would have responded and got as excited as I did about the fact. The plan is always to give it some extra on the final lap, but the amount of energy in the legs sometimes says differently. Breathing's pretty heavy all throughout the second half of the race, at least. Last time up the hill, so that's a win. And I've made up another place. It's incredible. How many is that now? 3, 4? It's like that Grand Prix, is it Monaco, where there's no room to overtake and you basically finish in the position you started unless your engine blows up. That's kind of how I'm doing today. So with a final check of the watch, I know that this is definitely the final lap, and I can turn left instead of right at the Marshall point here. Last chance to give Jim the thumbs up. I can see Dawn sprinting off ahead. She's well known for a fast finish, so I had no plans to try and catch her at this point. I was giving it everything I had left though. Seeing whether I could get closer to the chap in blue there. Not quite sure of the time at this point. I was just concentrating on sprinting for the line, trying to beat the 22:08 I got when I did this in August, but let's see how we go. And done. Great race.
Thank you, well done. Cheers.
Another one for you.
I'm not sure, mate. Get close. Right.
Something like that. 201 mark, yeah.
That's fastest one here then, Brill.
You take off.
Wow, that was extremely tough this morning. Did manage to get a good time. Beat the last time I was here, which was 22:08. And it looks like, according to my watch, I got 22:01 this time. So great improvement. Could pretty much see Dawn the whole way round. About 30-40 metres in front of me, so that gave me some kind of target to aim for, but there was no danger of me catching her, so yeah, just did my best to keep her in sight, and yeah, got a good time, even though I was absolutely dying at the end. Sprinted as best I could, which wasn't too much, but there we go. Had a good morning chatting with John and Dawn before and after the race, so yeah, really made it a good one to turn up to, and I'll definitely be back again.